Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Jack Richards of Dexter Boys Basketball. How are you?
I'm good, Casey. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So good start to the season so far. For won your first two games. What has it been like to start the season so well and after a tough season last year?
Yeah, right. We started off great, as you said. We started a little, we won the first game by a lot, which was good. Last game we started out a little slow, but it was, in halftime, the guys we just all got together and we picked it up for the second half and ended up coming with the win. And I think that's right because people say like young teams, they struggle mentally sometimes with staying in games. And I think that could be a comparison to last year where you had a bunch of seniors. So I think that I don't think that this team will struggle with that though, because we have a lot of leaders in the locker room, and I feel like if we just keep applying that to each game, we can be competitive with every team we play this year.
How was your how's like how has your game kind of grown since this past from last year to this year, you think?
Yeah, I've definitely, I think, each year of my basketball career just taking it more and more seriously. I've been putting in the work in the off season, trying to get, multiple workouts a day. I feel like I'm more of a confident uh shooter now than I was from last year. Um, it was, my first varsity game ever. I ended up being the leading scorer, which was cool. And it was it was cool to see the work that I put in the off season like finally pay off.
Yeah. What specifically did you work on this summer and into the fall?
Yeah, so I played on a on a legacy team with not only with a bunch of like the Dexter guys. My dad coached it, so I think that was just really good to me. Really good for me to develop my ball handling, just bringing the ball up the court every time. Uh, which was usually Gabe Rickner's job. He was on that team, but it was nice for me to just have just put myself in places that I hadn't really been before. Taking guys off the dribble, pulling up for mid range shots, and not just staying outside by the three. So I feel like I'm just this offseason I've just been trying to anything that I struggled on. Maybe it was taking guys off the dribble or things like that. Just really elevating that.
Yeah. So um really just this year, what differences do you really kind of see with these guys?
I mean, I think Jack DeMero specifically, I think that he's definitely, because we're him and I are close, and so we would work out in the off season a lot together, and just seeing him develop his game every day and taking me under his wing a little bit and just giving me, different like drills and stuff to do with him. Ben Murphy, I think him too. He would work out with us and just, seeing those guys just develop and then bringing it to the court on game day. Like Jack, he had a great game last game. And so it's really good to see, those things that we work on the off season
Yeah.
like formulate to the game.
Um, how is your game like, well, no, let me ask you this, like how do you like mentally get ready for a game?
So Coach Rushton always he always says like visualize before the game. So I definitely do some of that. Just visualize me making my shots, making the right plays. I definitely listen to a good amount of music, Drake, you know, um, let's see, Mac Miller, just guys like that, just to get me locked in. Talking with my teammates just to make sure we're all on the same page. Yeah, stuff like that.
I was just about to ask, what is on Jack's playlist?
Oh, what is on my playlist? Let's see. Uh, Definitely Drake, J. Cole. Um, let's see. Some old Kanye, probably. Stuff like that.
Okay. Of course, you get next few games coming up. You guys, you got some good ones. Coming up with Huron and Ipsy Lincoln, and of course, the big game with Chelsea, and then at Okemos to finish out the year, finish out 2023 before the new year, before things really get going. But what's it going to be like to have some really good games to close out the year, and really good games to close out before Christmas break?
Yeah, right. It should definitely be interesting. I think it'll definitely be a good test for our team just to see where we're at as kind of a team, I guess. And I think that we've been, Coach Russian he prepares us really well for each game that we play, just with the film and the offenses that, we learn for our opposing teams. So I think that we're in a good position right now to uh play against the teams that we've got so far left on the schedule. I know we're at Little Caesars Arena on the 30th, which should be fun.
Yeah.
Never played in an NBA stadium before, so that should uh that should definitely be fun. But I think that if we just, stick to our game and the way that Dexter plays basketball, we're gonna be competitive for sure.
Okay. All right, Jack. Let's get to know you a little bit. How about that?
All right, yeah, let's go.
Who is your favorite player growing up, or current player now?
Right. So my family's big Wisconsin fans, so I gotta say Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
He brought us a ring, and yeah, it was great.
So your favorite team is the Bucks.
Yeah, for sure. I was at the game 6 of the NBA Finals where we won it.
That's awesome. Um, okay, favorite. Hmm, let's see. Favorite moment from last season or this season?
Let's see. Uh, I mean, I think it's got to be the opening game where I it was just I was proud of myself just to see that that I could uh that I could knock down the shots that I was working on in practice, and that the things that I've been practicing every day in the off season, finally came to fruition, and just trying to uh not just make that a one game thing, but just keep it going throughout each game of the season, and just making the right plays.
Okay. Favorite. What's pregame meal before game?
Ooh. Uh hmm. I had French toast before the first game of the season, and so I played pretty well. So I guess that French toast from Coney Island.
Yeah. Okay, you're gonna keep carrying that thing on then,
Oh,
like
I mean, yeah,
just for like good luck or something. I don't know.
yeah. Last game we had Culver's, but I guess I might have to keep going back to it for every game.
Okay. All right. Yeah, everyone has their thing. It's interesting. Um,
Yeah, right.
favorite. Okay, TV or streaming show that you're into right now or have been into in the past.
Whoa. Let's see. I watched a lot of Breaking Bad this summer, and everyone, like my dad specifically, he was like, "The show is amazing," and I watched it, and it's great. I love Jesse.
Yeah. And finally, what's an interesting fact or something people don't know about you?
Um, hmm. uh, I don't know. I feel like people might not realize like how much, like, if I'm truly like committed to something, like how much work like that I'll actually go through and put in for it. And so I think sometimes that like could get overlooked.
Okay. All right. Well, Jack, thanks so much for the time, and we will definitely have you on again later on in the year.
Yeah, thanks. Absolutely.